The unwritten rule, the unwritten truth about Ted Cruz is that, yes, people see him as someone who's really shaking things up against the establishment, wanting to get more grassroots, but they don't know how successful he is as a legislator. He has actually passed meaningful legislation in a bipartisan way. For example, the Hamas bill that we just passed, who was the Senate sponsor? Ted Cruz. With whom? Kristen Gillibrand, a very liberal senator from New York. Ted Cruz actually is able to make the Senate work in a more efficient way, and that doesn't get the play in the press. Why? Because they want to look on him as a bomb thrower, a troublemaker, somebody who doesn't work within the system. He wants to shake things up for sure, but he also knows how to get things done in the Senate in a very quiet way. While he's making all of these speeches nationwide, because everybody loves to hear Ted Cruz speak, he was able to get unanimous consent for a bill that we passed, that we worked with him in drafting, saying that we condemn Hamas's use of human beings as human shields, because while Israel uses its armory, its military hardware to protect its citizens, Hamas does the opposite. It uses its citizens to protect the military hardware. And it tells you a different mindset. Ted Cruz understands this. He understands the special relationship that the U.S. has with Israel. And nobody wants to talk about how effective he is as a legislator. They want to always talk about him as an effective grassroots activist. But he's a real inside player as well. Maybe he doesn't want me to say that because people, you know, he's building this image that he's not part of Washington. But actually, he's a very savvy guy who gets along much better than people give him credit for, who builds bipartisan relationships with the most unique individuals. You would never think that these folks would be working with Ted Cruz. He has built those bridges. So I know there's a lot of people who are always talking the talk about being bipartisan. Ted Cruz really is. Unbelievable.
The bill in question, do you think President Obama will sign it?
I think President Obama has no choice. He would love to not approve a bill by Ted Cruz. He would get a lot of credit for that. But Ted Cruz had the bill with me in the House and with Gillibrand in the Senate. There is no way in the world that he's going to veto a bill. No matter if it's got that dastardly name, according to Obama, of Ted Cruz. His hair is going to, you know, flames are going to come out. But because of Kristen's help, you know, but he doesn't want his image to be softened. That's the amazing thing about Ted. He could be talking about how he works in a bipartisan manner, how he's able to get things through. When we first were working on the bill, I thought he wasn't going to file it. I thought he was going to give it to somebody else. And he goes, no, Kristen and I are going to do this bill in the Senate. And I said, Senator, are you sure? And I just called him today to thank him and tell him what a joy it has been to work with him and with his staff. He is an outstanding legislator, and I'm proud to call him my friend.